Hey, Derek here. Today I'm going to attempt to plumb in a tank under here. Okay, so I've got this one. Oh, I can't remember. There's like I can't remember the brand. But anyway, it's a moulded tank seemingly designed for the T2 with sort of moulded brackets and stuff. But I've got it strapped with a couple of straps, I guess, tie downs, we call them here, at the moment, just to see how it sat. So it's in kind of its position. So I'm going to get under there and work out where to sort of plug some holes in it and get it going like that. I don't really know, but what's the first thing I ever do? Oh, God. Yeah. Step one is the $10 Bunnings rug. Every time. Comfort. One chuppy. I'm just going to mark up. Okay. This guy. The drill. I bought some new hole saws. Basically, I just couldn't bear it anymore. The amount of times I bought a really cheap hole saw set. Look at that. It's a 20 mil. And I've got somewhere around here. I'm guessing that's going to be roughly right. Actually, maybe not. Have I stuffed it? I think I've stuffed it, but maybe that will thread in nicely and do a better job. I had a set in my hand that had a 22 mil, or maybe that's a 25 mil. Maybe I just punch a big 25 mil hole in there. Certainly not. Make life easier, wouldn't it? What I've decided just lately is to go that out from all my plumbing, like my main plumbing. That's my important one because there's a little bit of a catcher for any scum in there, and it's just going to bring the level that it picks up just above the bottom, which means I haven't got 5 litres. If you're up here and the car's on, you're potentially losing 5 litres. That's just sitting in there all the time, even when it says it's empty. So, as well as that, most of the time you're trying to park level. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to punch that in there and then fight to the death with this thing. It's thicker plastic than I expected, which is really encouraging. This is some heavy duty shit, which is good. I mean, I paid for it, let's face it. All right, so there's that. Looks nice on the outside. Technically that goes in there. And hopefully, somehow, I can get that on there. And I'll tell you, sweet, I'm that far, that close. Sticky tape. Duct tape. Tradies rope. This inside bit. And a socket extension. Now, the idea with the socket extension is hopefully it's less grippy for the tape than the thing itself. But I think whatever we leave inside here, we have to accept we've left it there for good. So let's get a nice clean bit of tape. tack that on, hopefully enough, just enough. This is the next problem. What if we just needs a tiny little bit. Wrap that around the edge there a little bit and give that one a little bit of an edge. You want it to be precarious because you hopefully want all the tape to come off. Right. If I slip into instructional mode, cut me off, tell me off, because I'm making this shit up, and the likelihood of it working is pretty minimal. I should have used a longer socket extension. I'm telling you, I've made a mistake. Lord. In my tiny head, I was that close, but I obviously was too far. So let's start again. What I think I need to do is get a grip. What I think I need to do, look at my arm, it's starting to hurt. Is get this super comfortable but precarious. Precariosity is the key. Remember what I said to do if I started sounding like I was giving instruction rather than making shit up. A little bit more. I reckon it's going to be important just to at least start off relatively square. All right, let's see what happens. Is it still recording? Yeah, it is. I love this camera. It's a Pocket 3 DJI. So what I'll do is I'll get that. Be careful not to use the sort of feels like something's happening, but I don't know what. We need right. Uh-oh. Now I've completely committed. Didn't think that through, did I? Because now I can't hold the nut. Interesting. Be an interesting sort of alternative to do it the other way and have that thread sticking out and be able to hook things on the thread. But I don't know if there's anything that fits that thread. I think the main important sort of general thread is this size here, which is like a plumbing size thread. So that might have been an idea that was a bit silly. I need to get some real skinny person to get their arm in there. It's just this big fat forearm. Let's see if, my theory, right, so what I'm doing now is I'm pulling against it, just remembering there's rubber in there, which hopefully provides, we don't know if that nut's spinning or whether I'm tightening it up. So we've got 5 minutes of this before we know we've got a result. Just fits my hand, that's the test. So if I keep outward pressure on it, it may prefer to thread in. It's working. else, mind if I stand up for a bit? Is it working? Any moment it might stop working, but we'll find out. Dunno. I don't know why I didn't go get a socket. Why don't I? I'm taking it with me so to bring all the sockets out. I found a socket and everything, but I couldn't find the bloody connector that makes my what's the name work, but this is still easier. Oh my God, I've done it. She is tight. Rubber on both sides. I want to over crush it. But that is pure gold. I'm ready to somehow tap into it. Let's see if all the random shit that I bought at Bunnings is gonna be effective. Boxes of shit. I don't remember the plan. Various things from the... Okay, that's something. So that's just straight to hose. That one's sort of a left. From memory, this just didn't work in the shop. It's like the thread used for this nut is completely different to a plumbing thread. So I can't remember the actual purpose of getting that, but I've got that one. I'm sure I had some weird intentions of somehow connecting. Oh, you know what it is. I just put this barb one on there, and then that on there, and that should turn itself off. Somewhere in here should be a double banger. Looks like I've spilled everything everywhere. I have. What a fool. Anyway, if that's an auto seal, fuck, it doesn't look like it, does it? I don't think it is. The idea was I put one of these that cuts off if there's nothing plugged into it. So I've got them, I've got plenty around. And that way, the filler one is on a hose on the barb and just taped in there somewhere. So maybe I can leave it at the open one and have it as the breather you don't want. Now it's a stupid spanner to use for plastic on plastic, so I'm holding it right in there to try and avoid accidentally throwing huge amounts of leverage on there, but I may be doing it anyway. food grade reinforced pressure hose. Lovely. Why I didn't buy a bunch of cable ties, what do you call it? Clips, I don't know. We'll have a look in the old box of tricks. So that's that. Don't know what else I can do there. Shall I do another one, I reckon? Let's just do another one and I can put the tap thing on that, block it off. Then I'll get the hose out, see what happens. One more one of these. My theory with this tape stuff is that it's got to finish trailing as you do something up. So it has to point forward so that when I snap it off, the trailing edge potentially. And the other one just seemed to keep going in and going in forever. So maybe I'll do a few more turns on this guy. Trying to do as much as I can before I'm upside down, but I'm exactly sure. I haven't done any planning at all. So this is the top. So methinks that this is the filler. So if that's on there, I'm not sure how long to cut this, but it's really just to tuck away somewhere over here. But if I've got a little bit of extra on it, maybe I can prop it up somewhere as a, you know, with a kind of a sock on it as a breather. I'm thinking it's got to come down from the sink as it stands at the moment, which will one day have a pump and a filter and all that, but at the moment it's a classic caravan one, so it's probably going to need less later on. I think I need to leave extra coiled up for any reason. Famous last words. Found some stuff. Big cable ties. Found an old air toolbox with some clamps. And I reckon this will do the job. Fortunately, whoever used them used the wrong size, but that's good because we need the bigger ones. I'll just clamp that guy on. What I'm going to do now is try and think this through so that when you put a clamp on now and I put the doer upper here comfortably, then I clamp this thing and it's like, oh, you can't get to it. So I've just got to think through exactly where I put the access to do up and undo these clamps. And I've decided just here. One thing to be very wary of is making sure that the hose isn't under constant pressure to undo the thread. You know what I mean? These hoses are quite springy until they've settled in their position, I'm sure of it. That other one, that will go straight on the end of that one that's under there. So what's the plan? What do we got? We've got a hose, appears to be pretty muddy. I don't know if I want my drinking water running through it. I think if this works, we can flush the whole thing out later on. Appears to be a change of plan. This is too horrible. I'm going to install it because it's going to be 2 seconds to Is it 2 seconds to uninstall it? What I want to do is have a quick release on the bottom there for the permanent one rather than the filler. Are you able to follow me around? Can you handle that? Can you handle that? Thank you. Right. So, patience is gone. Just shift you a little bit if you don't mind. You okay with that? Yeah. Still with me? All right. That's on. See what happens. Yeah. So that's the spigot. I push everything through there. Up we come. Alright. That's the filler. So we'll send that over there somewhere for now. And then we'll get these 2 layers. Put them around the bottom end. Maybe do it up. Right. That one. Don't trap anything. I want to make sure that the little groove in the tank that's built into it. No, I don't like that there. The little groove in the tank, as long as the straps go up in it, I'm sure it'll hopefully prevent any intermediate disasters while we're getting ourselves sorted. I want to get that around. I want to get that around more so that the buckle's underneath. There we go. That's better. There we go. Right. As far as I can tell, that buckle's not in a good spot, but maybe it is. Maybe you can stand up and pull up. Anyway, either way, that's the filler. That's here. Where's my pipe? What have I done with me? Oh, there we go. What did I say? Right, so put that on there. Tuck it on the spigot. Who remembers to bring a screwdriver before they lie down? I do. Once every 10 times. Okay, so methinks that's the tank connected. I don't like that metal straight onto my, sitting straight onto my tank there. I reckon I might even experiment having the buckle on the outside. Let's have a look. goes kind of up over the main body of the van, like all the structural stuff. But I am concerned that we get into a situation where with the cables, the straps can kind of wear and cut themselves. Let's try that. I don't want that to wear through. That'll do for now. It's going to come off and on many, many times before I actually drive too far. So this is my filler. So what I want, hey, I found this. I don't know what it came with, but it's certainly a bit odd. I think it came with some, it must have come with some kind of cheap device that I've bought somewhere. I wonder if is that a sealing one? That's a self-sealing one. So that might be better for this purpose. So what I was thinking was having that, you know, if that's tucked up there, it's probably shorter than that, but if it's tucked up there, then it's a reasonable breather, you know. Plus we're climbing up hills and all the water's pouring out of it. There's not much higher you can get. Or even if it's tucked up in there. We'll learn about breathing soon. It's so easy to pull this out and fart around with it. I don't think it's going to hurt. Just to make a mistake that needs a hole drilled in it or something. I'm not sure that. I definitely need to put some blocks in. There's some big, heavy rubber blocks to keep the thing steady, because once it's technically potentially got 40, it's potentially going to weigh 40 kilos under there. I'm not going to try and get the hose here because it's been lying in the gutter. Chemicals or whatever from next door could be pouring past it. So it's strapped up. It's sort of plumbed up. We have to wait till I find somewhere with a hose. I think we might have one at home. All right, that's it for now. Okay, let's go. What I realised was without a breather, everything was good. I plugged the hose in at home and it started filling. And then when I unplugged the hose, the water started coming out of the other end of the hose, which I thought was unusual. And I started filling it when I unplugged it from here, went because I was pressurizing it, of course. Duh. So my what I was going to use as the breather, which is the same as the filler hose, probably was a bit of a dumb idea, because it there is no breather, of course, when you're using it, pushing air in. So it pressurized the tank. It even leaked in a couple of spots. So today's mission is to attempt to I've just dropped the tank a little bit. You can see now. I've just dropped it on its little, God, I'm so glad I've got it on just straps, I'm telling you. But I've just punched, I'm going to punch a little hole in the weird top bit of the tank. There's like a circle that looks like it's meant for something else. And I've got a little tiny, I don't know if it's a mistake or not, or whether it's going to allow enough air out, but it's a little tiny fitting. Where did I put it? So it's a little tiny irrigation fitting. Oh, there's one. So what I'll do is like with a 4mm thing. So I'm figuring I'll just connect that up, put a little loop in the, oh, what have I done? Looks like you get one go at putting this on the hose. Right, I'll do what I did in the shop, push it through. So there's a tiny little thing. So I'm gonna swing this out here, drill a hole, drilled. I kind of had it in my head that this bit would be really thick, but it's the opposite. And then hopefully that little nibbit, there we go. So I'll have a breather already. That just screws into the, I'm just screwing that into the plastic. Looks like I chose the right size. And I thought I would just add a little bit of little hose to it. I don't quite know why. I really should just, as a breather, to stop scum getting in there, because it's up in, you know, behind the wheel. Maybe I should put a little filter or something on the end of it. A little breather kind of vibe. Who knows? Make shit up as we go along here. I put a barb on the other end so it looks deliberate. There we go. That's all. So that should give it a breath. So I'm going to do up the kind of doubling this as a breather, but I don't like the idea. I'd rather have a separate breather that I could perhaps put a filter over the top of. Get that on there. Getting a bit nervous now. Right, so we want that's natural position to be the other way around. I'll unscrew the Jubilee. Get this where we want it to naturally sit. Should be around there somewhere. Do the Jubilee up again. So hopefully, worst case, it's la 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 on the road rather than being on the road, and that can sit up there like that. Yeah. I'll show you. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. There. Got it. The one nearest us is that just goes straight to the tank. Now I want to put a T in that at some stage and a tap. Maybe a tap somewhere or something. So that, I don't know. I like that idea of being able to drain it as well without having to undo that great big red thing, which you may be able to see. There we go. Okay, moment of truth. Another moment of truth. Let's just put some of the important things aside for a minute. So, in theory, I pull this hose out of here, turn it around. We clearly haven't done the Jubilee clip up enough. That's all right. Turn it around, There's no water. Oh, so I've got it running off out of the kitchen, out of the laundry, and it's very, very. I put it on very slow because I realised that. And here we go. I don't know what happens now, but if this tank fills completely, then whatever pressure I'm putting in is going to be attempting to come out of that little pressure valve I've put in, which is only, it's not a pressure valve, it's an irrigation drip feeder, so it's probably got like 2 or 3 millimeter hole, so it'll probably just pop out. So I think air will come out real quick of that, enough to operate without pressurizing the tank, but I can't, now that I've put that special non-return hose clipping on, we can't relieve the pressure in the tank. Can we now? Or can we? Let's come with me for a minute. A bit of a building site here, it's not just van building. So the tap, the classic pumpy. All right, so it's getting water, but I'm not sure that it'll allow excess pressure to come out. So what I'm going to do, take a chance. No pressure there. So this is the other end of the hose. So if I leave that there and I start hearing a running water, then I'll know that the hose is filling, the tank's full. I don't really want 45 litres in it, and I haven't built in any system to let some water out of it. So I don't know exactly what's next. Probably put in a T-joint and a tap. And within that T-joint, if I had some clear hose, then it would show me the tank level, like a real old motorcycle. That's it. Well, I did it. The bus now has a tank and the breather system worked. Plugged it in, you could feel through the little breather, kind of wind gushing out of it in a small amount. And then when it was full, it came pissing out the breather. What more could you ever want? So now I've got far too much water in there, and I'm going to add a little tap in there and some way of telling. I thought I could see through the semi-clear hose what the tank level was, but I cannot. C'est la vie. Okay, so what I did was I filled it till it was chaos, and then I realised I could put the little, it's not letting me, hang on. Then I put the little, unplugged the little nubbin in the auto stop hose, and I don't know if you can see that, but I'm really just letting it empty now, everything that's over the fill point, which I'm considering would probably make it about slight downhill backwards. So I'm thinking about 40 litres, which is probably all I want. Okay, so that's I guess a temporary solution of not carrying stupid amounts of water in here, which I don't need. I only need 20 litres. Here's an idea for the inventors. Make a tank that fits like this, one-time fitting, that's half grey and half... Is that complicated? Is that dangerous? Is that probably against some kind of food law? But it'd be interesting to have that all-in-one kind of vibe. And that's it. I'm calling it a success. The tap works. We're in.